हेलो एवरीवन, मैं मनीष तिवारी स्वागत करता हूँ मेरे WebDevYT के एक नए लाइव स्ट्रीम वीडियो में। आज के इस लाइव स्ट्रीम वीडियो में हम रेमिक्स एप्लीकेशन की मदद से एक टास्क बोर्ड एप्लीकेशन को क्रिएट करेंगे। ओके, सो इट्स काइंड ऑफ बेसिक टू डू लिस्ट काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन। ओके, तो जहाँ पर हम लाइक रेमिक्स फ्रेमवर्क का यूज करके इस एप्लीकेशन को क्रिएट करेंगे। ओके, सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। तो प्रोजेक्ट्स को क्रिएट करने के लिए सबसे पहले हम अपने टर्मिनल हमने ओपन किया है। एज यू कैन सी हियर आई हैव ओपन माय टर्मिनल। ओके, अब हम अपने डिजायर लोकेशन पर चलते हैं जहां पर हम अपने लाइक प्रोजेक्ट को क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं। सो आई होप यू नो द बेसिक कमांड। ओके, लाइक कैसे हम टर्मिनल की मदद से हम फोल्डर में नेविगेट कर सकते हैं, लाइक एक फोल्डर से दूसरे फोल्डर में नेविगेट कर सकते हैं। बट इफ़ यू डोंट नो, डोंट वरी। ओके, तो सबसे पहले हम फोल्डर पर नेविगेट करने के लिए कमांड लिखते हैं। जैसे एज यू कैन सी कि करंटली मैं डेस्कटॉप डायरेक्टरी पर हूँ, लाइक आई एम एट द डेस्कटॉप। ओके, एंड टू लिस्ट डाउन ऑल द फाइल्स एंड फोल्डर विच इज लाइक अवेलेबल ऑन द डेस्कटॉप। ओके, हम लिखेंगे ls कमांड। ओके, ls मीन्स लिस्ट डाउन। ओके, जैसे हम ls लिखते हैं तो इट विल शो मी ऑल द प्रोजेक्ट, सॉरी, फोल्डर and the file which is stored on my desktop. Okay, so you can say like the folder is 100 days, 100 DSA assignment, like these are the folder. Okay, and if there is any file, you can see the file also, like you can say docker desktop link file, it's the file. Okay, github things, it's a doc file, like this. Okay, so हम प्रोजेक्ट को कहाँ खरीदना चाहते हैं, लाइक इफ यू कैन सी मैंने डेस्कटॉप पर एक वाईटी प्रोजेक्ट नाम पर एक फोल्डर क्रिएट किया है जहाँ पर हम अपने प्रोजेक्ट को इनिशलाइज करना चाहते हैं, लाइक हम अपने प्रोजेक्ट को क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं। ओके, सो वी नीड टू नेविगेट टू वाईटी प्रोजेक्ट्स फोल्डर। ओके, तो उसके लिए हम कमांड लिखते हैं cd मीन्स चेंज डायरेक्टरी। ओके, सो हम अपने डायरेक्टरी को चेंज करना चाहते हैं फ्रॉम डेस्कटॉप से हम वाईटी प्रोजेक्ट्स के अंदर जाना चाहते हैं। तो वी राइट cd and then YT project. Like if your folder have space na, then you need to like write like this YT, then forward slash, okay, so backward slash, okay, my bad, then YT, then backward slash, then space, and then project, and then forward slash, okay, and then यहाँ पर हम enter पर click करेंगे। So you can say now currently I'm at the YT projects folder. Okay, again to list down all the folders we can write ls. Okay, so you can see these are the folders which I have created. So here I want to create a new folder। okay, जिसके अंदर आप अपने रिएक्ट रेमिक्स एप्लीकेशन को इनिशियलाइज करेंगे। okay, so to create a new folder we'll write वैसे कमांड mkdir। mkdir means make, mk stand for make and dir means directory। सिंस हम यहाँ पर एक नया डायरेक्टरी यानी फोल्डर को क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं, दैट्स व्हाई वी विल राइट कमांड एज mk डायरेक्टरी एंड देन अपने फोल्डर का नाम यहाँ पर लिखते हैं। सो लेट्स से फोल्डर नेम विल बी फुल, लेट्स डू दिस, आई वांट टू गिव द फोल्डर नेम एज task hyphen board। okay, let's do it now। you can see my folder has been created but I can't see any message now। now again let's write the ls। okay, and search if my folder has been created or not। okay, देखेंगे कि ये टास्क बोर्ड जो फोल्डर हमने क्रिएट किया वो क्रिएट हुआ है या नहीं। I think it's already there। okay, now let's see if I press enter ls। okay, I think it's my fault, I have already created the task board। okay, now let's navigate to this folder also। okay, so you know how we can navigate। okay, navigate करने के लिए हम लिखेंगे cd and then अपने folder name, okay, task board, let's press enter again, let's write ls। okay, I think you can see my task board has already some folder, so we can't initialize a new remix application here, because in order to initialize a new remix application ना, जिस भी folder या directory के अंदर हम initialize कर सकते हैं, we need to make sure like this the directory should be empty. Okay, there should not be any, let's say, file or folder created, because if it's there then remix will remove it. Okay, at the time of initialization. So now let's go back. तो यदि आप किसी डायरेक्टरी के अंदर है और उससे बाहर निकलना चाहते हैं, पीछे आना चाहते हैं, then you need to write cd and then double dot. Okay, in this way you can come out from the directory, let's say from taskboard to YT projects. Now let's create another folder. Okay, so I will again create a new folder, let's say mkdir, and then taskboard app. Just give this folder. Okay, now let's create it. Now you can see created directory taskboard app. Okay, that means कि हमारा जो taskboard app है वो create हो चुका है. Now again let's write ls. Now if now this time you can see there is my folder. Okay, taskboard app. अब हम इसके अंदर नेविगेट करते हैं, तो to navigate it we need to write task hyphen board hyphen app. Okay, so now you can see I'm inside the taskboard app. Now if I do ls here, now you can see nothing printed, because there's nothing inside the taskboard app. Okay, so now currently we are inside our taskboard app folder, like the folder where we want to initialize our remix application. Okay, now here you can say currently there's too much thing on the terminal, और जो कि देखने पर बहुत वो कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है, so हम इसे क्लियर भी कर सकते हैं अपने टर्मिनल पर. So if you want to clear all the written thing, you need to just write clear and then enter, and it will be cleared. Okay, now let's initialize our remix application. Okay, so I hope आप remix application और framework के बारे में आपको थोड़ा knowledge होगा. But if you're new to the remix framework, don't worry. Like remix एक I can tell you that remix एक full stack framework है जो कि react के ऊपर बना हुआ है, react library के फंक्शनलिटी को यूटिलाइज करके, लाइक उसके सारे फंक्शनलिटी को यूटिलाइज करके एक फ्रेमवर्क है remix. और यह एक फुल स्टैक फ्रेमवर्क है. ओके, इसमें हम क्लाइंट साइड रेंडरिंग एज वेल एज द सर्वर साइड रेंडरिंग भी कर सकते हैं. ओके, आई होप यू नो अबाउट द SSR, दैट इज सर्वर साइड रेंडरिंग. लाइक सर्वर साइड रेंडरिंग हमारे एप्लीकेशन को SEO ऑप्टिमाइज बनाने में बहुत मदद करता है. ओके, so like these are the separate conversation which we can do, but just for as of now just understood this, like remix, it's an full stack framework which is built on the top of React library. Okay, like React, it's a JavaScript library. Okay, and remix built on the top of React. Okay, so यदि आपको React के बारे में बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन है या बेसिक नॉलेज है, then you can also create your application in remix also. Okay, it's pretty similar to React. Okay, so that's it. Now let's start creating our project. Now let's see कि कैसे हम एक remix application को initialize कर सकते हैं. Okay, so remix को initialize करने के लिए make sure you have node installed into your system. Okay, node.js. So in order to check कि आपके सिस्टम में ऑलरेडी node.js इंस्टॉल है या नहीं, you can write node then space hyphen v. Okay, then it will tell you the version, like which node version you have installed. But यदि आपके सिस्टम में यदि आप node.js इंस्टॉल नहीं है, then it's pretty simple to install. Okay, you just need to, okay, one second, you just need to go to the browser. Okay, and on browser you can search node.js. Okay, that's it. If you search for node.js, now you can see, you will see the on the very first link, you can see how you can install the node.js website. Okay, here you can see the download option. You can click on it, ओके, जैसे इस पर आप क्लिक करते हैं, इट विल टेक यू टू द डाउनलोड पेज, और यू कैन सी डाउनलोड पैकेज मैनेजर, and from here you can download our Node.js application. Okay, so this, if you want to use the command line, you can use this, and if you want to download by using this a Windows file, okay, you can click on this download Node.js, and it will download the Node.js into your system. Okay, since I already have the Node.js, यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं मेरे सिस्टम में Node.js का like 20 वर्जन, which is the latest Node.js version already installed है. Now let's install, sorry, or initialize our Remix application. So for that we'll write command as npx. Okay, once you install Node.js, you will get this npx. Okay, you don't have to install separately. Okay, so here we'll write npx, then create, then remix, and then at rate you need to specify the version, like which remix version you want to use for your application. Okay, so like I want to use the latest node, sorry, remix version, so we can write latest here, or if you want to point some any other version, you can mention the version here. Okay, that's it. Just press the enter button. Okay, so now it will ask some couple of question. Okay, so answer carefully. Now first question, you can see it's asked, where should we create your new project? Okay, like it will ask for a directory. Okay, basically यह एक डायरेक्टरी का पूछ रहा है कि हम किस डायरेक्टरी के अंदर आपको रेमिक्स एप्लीकेशन को क्रिएट करें. Okay, so if you write any directory name, sorry guys, so if you write any directory name here, so it will create a new directory. Okay, it will create a new directory inside your taskboard app. Okay, which I don't want, because मैंने ऑलरेडी एक नया फ्रेश डायरेक्टरी को क्रिएट किया जिसके अंदर हम अपने प्रोजेक्ट को इनिशियलाइज करना चाहते हैं. We don't want to create any other folder. Okay, so for that we can only write dot and then forward slash, or I think it's a backward. Sorry guys, I'm feeling some cough. Okay, so here you just need to write this okay, dot and then forward slash, and then press enter button. Okay, now it will use a basic template. Okay, remix template. You can change your template if you go to this page. Okay, remix.run slash guide slash template, and from here you can configure your templates also. Okay, now it's asking initialize a new git repository. Okay, if you want, you can initialize, but I don't want to initialize a new git repository. Okay, so I will select no. Then it's asking like install dependency with npm or not. Okay, so if you have npm, you can select yes, but if you have another package manager like yarn and anything else like pnpm or other than, so you can select no and then choose your package manager. Okay, since I am using npm, so I will select yes. Okay, so it will install the dependency into our application. like yeah, like आपके नेटवर्क स्पीड और सिस्टम परफॉर्मेंस पर डिपेंड करता है कि कितना टाइम लेगा. यदि आपके पास एक बढ़िया प्रोसेसर का सिस्टम है और नेटवर्क स्पीड भी स्ट्रॉन्ग है, देन इट वोंट टेक टू मच टाइम. ओके, सो जस्ट वेट फॉर सम टाइम जब तक ये हमारे डिपेंडेंसीज को इंस्टॉल करता है. Meanwhile guys, I have a small request to you. यदि आप मेरे चैनल पर फर्स्ट टाइम विजिट कर रहे हैं, ओके। और यदि आपने अभी तक इसे सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज मेक श्योर टू सब्सक्राइब दिस चैनल and also like this stream so that it should reach to other people as well. Okay. And also you can tell about yourself, like what are you doing, like are you a professional developer or you okay, you don't know about development. Okay, anything about yourself you can tell in the chat section. And also you can mention like कि आप मेरे इस लाइव स्ट्रीम को कहाँ से देख रहे हैं, like from which location okay you are watching this live stream. You can mention this thing and so to my chat section also. Oh, finally guys, it's installed the dependencies. Like as I have the low processor, okay, internet speed is fine, okay, like I have enough internet speed, but my system processor is low, okay, that's why it took too much time, okay, but no worry, okay, यहाँ केस ये है कि हमारा जो डिपेंडेंसी है वो सक्सेसफुली इंस्टॉल हो चुका है, okay, now we can run our remix application, okay, but before running our application, okay, let's open this application into a code editor, okay, like there are many code editor available in the market, okay, but I usually use VS Code editor, okay, आप कमेंट कर सकते हैं कि आप कौन से कोड एडिटर को यूज करते हैं अपने एप्लीकेशन को डेवलप करने के लिए, लाइक इट डज नॉट मैटर कि आप कौन सा एप्लीकेशन को सॉरी कौन से कोड एडिटर का यूज करते हैं अपने एप्लीकेशन को डेवलपमेंट करने के लिए, ओके, इफ यू फाइंड इन एनी डिफरेंट कोड एडिटर जहाँ पर आपको कोड करने में बढ़िया लगता है, okay, अच्छा लगता है, then you can use the other one also, like every code editor has their own pros and cons, okay, but does not matter कि आप कौन सा code editor use करते हैं, okay, so let's open this application, okay, into a VS Code editor, okay, so VS Code editor में open करने के लिए we just need to write command as code and then space a dot means here you can mention the path name, since I'm already inside my folder, okay, project folder, so we can write dot, okay, but if you do, you are not inside your project folder, okay, and you want to open it, then you can write like code and then folder path, okay, like desktop slash YT project slash task, something like that, okay, and then press enter, okay, so it will open your application, or you can say the folder, into a VS Code editor, like you can see, okay, just do you trust the author of the file inside the folder, okay, so if you trust you can click yes, and if you don't trust you can click no, but I trust the author, so I will click yes, okay, and now here you can see my application has installed, okay, so I won't go deeper inside it like to explain every file and stuff, okay, just whatever the file matter to run your application I will explain, okay, if you don't know, like, or if you are seeing for the first time our remix application, then only, so that you can understood not understood understand, so like the first file जो कि important है package.json, like yeah, you can say you can consider it's a core file, like if your application does not have this package.json, then you can't run your, let's say, remix application or any React application also. Okay, so here you can see the basic configuration and the packages, okay, which this application is using, okay, so now you can here you can write your application name, so here I can write, let's say, taskboard, okay, you can leave empty also, it does not matter, okay, now the main thing is to notice the script, like this script is necessary to run build your application or type check, okay, with the TypeScript, because remix जो होता है वो बाय डिफॉल्ट TypeScript को यूज करता है आपके एप्लीकेशन को डेवलप करने के लिए, बेसिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, इफ यू नोटिस इंस्टॉलेशन के समय उसने पूछा था, मेंशन किया था रिमिक्स ने कि वी आर यूजिंग डिफॉल्ट टेम्पलेट, एंड डिफॉल्ट टेम्पलेट में दे आर by using TypeScript by default, okay, but if you don't want to use TypeScript also, so you can explore the remix documentation, okay, you just need to go to the template uh, okay, template page, and there you can find all the templates, okay, so like here you can see script, so main file, here you can see the dev, okay, if you write npm run dev, then it will run your application, if you write npm start, okay, so before running the npm start you need to first build this, so first you need to build and your remix application, then you can write the remix start, and then it will also run your build application. Okay, like build is only necessary when you running your application on the server. Okay, to make sure like everything is fine and there is no error. So first you need to build your application, then you can start. Okay, and below it you can see the dependencies, like what are the dependencies this remix is using, and also we can install our external dependency as well. Okay, according to our convenience. Okay. So like this is the package.json file. Okay, and then just here you can see node module, like it's consists all the packages. Okay, you can see here. Okay, and then here the main uh, फाइल और फोल्डर यू कैन सी, जहाँ पर हम अपने सारे कोड को लिखेंगे, रिमिक्स का कोड लिखेंगे, पेज क्रिएट करना है या कंपोनेंट जो भी क्रिएट करना है, ऑल द लॉजिक वी विल राइट इनसाइड आवर ऐप डायरेक्टरी. ओके, यू कैन कंसीडर इट लाइक यदि आपने रिएक्ट यूज किया है तो यू हैव नोटिस देयर एचआरसी डायरेक्टरी. ओके, जिसके अंदर अपने सारे कोड लिखते हैं. सो यहाँ पर ऐप डायरेक्टरी है जिसके अंदर अपने सारे code logic को लिखते हैं. Okay, so here you can see inside app, okay, you can see there is one directory which is routes. Okay, routes यदि आप किसी remix में यदि आप पेज को create करते हैं तो पेज को create करने के लिए like whatever file you will create inside this route folder, or you can say route folder, तो वो फाइल आपका जो है एक सेपरेट पेज के रूप में क्रिएट हो जाता है. Okay, I will show you. Okay, don't worry. Okay, so route is required to create a page into our remix application, and then you can say like this entry.client and entry.server.css. like हमें इन दोनों फाइल में कोई चेंजेस नहीं करना था, क्योंकि ये जो भी फाइल है वो रिमिक्स लिखा है अपने लाइक क्लाइंट साइड और सर्वर साइड कोड को सेपरेट करने के लिए. ओके, एज अर्लियर आई टोल्ड, रिमिक्स जो है वो एक फुल स्टैक फ्रेमवर्क है जो कि बोथ क्लाइंट साइड रेंडरिंग और सर्वर साइड रेंडरिंग दोनों को सपोर्ट करता है. ओके, so like these are the, like you can say, the main logic file, we don't need to use this one. Okay, and then below it you can see a root.tsx. Okay, so in a react you found a main.js file. Okay, similar main or index.js file you can see there. So similar here you can see a root.tsx, like it's a root file you can see. Okay, which is responsible to running all your application. Okay, so that's it, and below it you can see a tailwind css. Since remix जो होता है वो by default tailwind css को utilize करता है, like to provide a style to our application. Okay, so here you can see I created a basic tailwind.css file, and it just import this css. If you go to this link, you can see here it import the tailwind css file here inside our root.tsx, and then it can use, if you want to use this tailwind css across our application, we can use it. Okay, but make sure it should import it here. Okay, so I hope आपको जो बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है आफ्टर ये रिमिक्स एप्लीकेशन, इट शुड बी क्लियर टू यू. बट इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट, यदि आपके पास अभी भी कोई डाउट है या कोई क्वेश्चन है, you can ask me in the chat section. Okay, so now let's run our application first and see, okay, how our remix application it look like. Okay, so to run our application we again need to go to terminal. Okay, we can open terminal into our VS Code application also, like VS Code provide a terminal into our application VS Code editor also. So if you go to the view menu, okay, और यहाँ पर आपको मिलता है terminal का option. So if you click this option, you can say it will open the terminal into your VS Code application also. Okay, but for this video I don't want to use the VS Code terminal. Like I want to use my separate, you can say, PowerShell terminal as only. So here In order to run our application, we need to write command as npm run dev. Okay, जैसे हम इस command को लिखते हैं, it will run our remix application. Okay, so just wait for some time. It won't take too much time. Okay, now here you can see it's telling, okay, like remix application is running, and on my local system you can see the URL and port number, like it's running on http colon slash slash localhost colon 5173, like 5173 is my port number. Okay, so now let's see how we can see our application into our web browser. Okay, so to open this application into our web browser, we just need to control, and we just need to press the control button. Okay, and then click on this link. Okay, तो जैसे हम कंट्रोल बटन के साथ उस लिंक पर क्लिक करते हैं, then you can see it will open our remix application into our default web browser. Okay, so whatever web browser you have selected as a default web browser, okay, it will open this application into that web browser. Okay, now you can say it's open into, in my case it uses the Microsoft Edge, like it's a default web browser. Okay, so like now here you can say this, on the home page it's showing like welcome to remix. Okay, and this some links. Okay, so if you are also installing a remix application for the first time, okay, and after installing after running the npm run dev command, okay, and if you found the similar kind of page, okay, then that means आपने remix application को like proper like तरीके से install किया and there is no error. Okay, so now what we will do, okay, for today project, एक आज का प्रोजेक्ट में एक बेसिक सा CRUD ऑपरेशन के ऊपर बेस्ड एक प्रोजेक्ट को क्रिएट करेंगे. CRUD मीन्स क्रिएट, रीड, अपडेट एंड डिलीट. ओके, सो नाउ एक सिंपल सा हम एक टू डू लिस्ट काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन बनाएंगे. ओके, जिसमें हम सबसे पहले एक टास्क बोर्ड को, लाइक फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी कैन क्रिएट अ टास्क बोर्ड. ओके, वी कैन अपडेट द टास्क बोर्ड, we can delete the task board, and also we can display our all created task board on the page. Okay, it's a pretty simple application. So if you are new to remix, so for you, okay, like this will be I think a good project, okay, to begin with our remix application and to familiar with. Okay, जिससे कि आपको इसके बारे में बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो. ओके, कि रिमिक्स एप्लीकेशन कैसे वर्क करता है और इसमें हम कैसे कोड को कर सकते हैं. एंड आई गारंटेड यू कि यदि आप आज का यह प्रोजेक्ट यदि सक्सेसफुली क्रिएट कर लेते हैं, देन यू हैव द इनफ knowledge and you can create any kind of application with the help of remix also. Okay, so one more thing guys, कि आज के हम एप्लीकेशन में हम जैसे कोई सेपरेट सर्वर को क्रिएट नहीं करेंगे. लाइक इट विल बी अ फुल स्टैक प्रोजेक्ट, बट we will utilize a remix SSR module, okay, to create our server, okay, or to perform all the server side logic, and also we will use a database also. Okay, so database के लिए हम Postgres का यूज करेंगे. so I hope you are familiar with Postgres. okay, बट जिनको Postgres के बारे में अभी जानकारी नहीं है उनके लिए एक सिंपल सा ओवरव्यू दे देता हूँ. एक Postgres यह एक SQL database है. SQL means queries database. okay, structured query language. okay, that means यहाँ पर आप queries की मदद से जैसे इसमें आप टेबल की मदद से हम database को क्रिएट करते हैं. okay, so we'll use Postgres. okay, and to communicate like our remix with the Postgres database, we will use a Prisma ORM. okay, so what is Prisma? okay, if I go to the, let's say, Prisma official site, let's say prisma.io. okay, like it kind of like I say utils which you can use to communicate, okay, with your, let's say, application with database. okay, you can directly communicate with application through a database, but Prisma make it simple. okay, you don't if you use Prisma, you don't need to, let's say, आपको और लाइक से क्वेरी करना है, डाटाबेस से क्वेरी करना और सिंपलर ये बनाता है। ओके, स्कीमा यदि आपको क्रिएट करना है, लाइक इट्स easier to create a schema with Prisma. Okay, it's easier to query with the database, and it's like there is one benefit which I found while using Prisma. कि यदि आप let's say suppose if you are using SQL database, okay, and next time if you need to use NoSQL database, okay, then you need to, let's say, for different database there is different query. Okay, but if you are using Prisma na, then you don't need to remember all the query different queries. Okay, Prisma provides let's you can say a single query, जिससे कि आप NoSQL database से भी डाटा को फेच कर सकते हैं और SQL से भी फेच कर सकते हैं, लाइक सेम क्वेरी का यूज करके। your database can be changed, but all the logic to create a table, to create a, to perform a query, okay, it will be same. Okay, that's why I think Prisma is let's say good to use the database, okay, to communicate with your database. Okay, and also you can also tell me कि यदि आप Prisma को आपने पहले कभी यूज किया है अपने एप्लीकेशन में, या this is the for the first time you will see, okay, how we can use a Prisma. Okay, so now let's see कि हम अपने Prisma एप्लीकेशन को प्रीमिक्स के साथ कैसे इनिशियलाइज कर सकते हैं। Okay, so for that you just need, if you are using the for the first time, okay, so you can go to the Prisma official documentation, like say prisma.io, or you just need to search Prisma on the, you can say, Google, and you can navigate here, and then here you just need to click on this get started with ORM. Okay, so on this page, like you can say iska jo, you can say the documentation page, I think it's they have written in very properly, okay, in a proper way। यदि आप फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम आप कोई प्रिज्मा को यूज़ करें तो इसमें आपको कोई इशू नहीं होगा, आप इसको इजीली आप इसको गो थ्रू करके आप अपने एप्लीकेशन में इसे इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं। Here you can say they have created two sections, like start from scratch, or if you have a already existing project, and there if you want to use Prisma, okay, they have created a separate section, like how you can integrate it. But for our case guys, like we have initialized our application from scratch. Okay, so we can open this menu, like select start from scratch. Now here you can say it has two options, okay, relation database or MongoDB. Okay, like which database we are using. Are we using a relational database like Postgres, NoSQL, okay, or we use MongoDB. MongoDB is a NoSQL database. Okay, so for our case guys, we will use a relational database like Prisma. Okay, so we can open it. Now you can see these are the options. First we'll go to connect your database, like you can see how we can connect our database. Okay, uh, my bad guys. Okay, first we need to go to this quick start. Okay, I forgot you to tell you. Okay, here you can see after we have initialized our remix, sorry, Prisma, then only we can come here. Okay, so let's see for quick start also. Okay, so let's say how we can initialize a Prisma or ORM into our project. Okay, so here you can say prerequisite, like we need to have a Node.js for, okay, Node.js engine installed into our system. Okay, which I already have. I have already shown you guys. If we don't have, how can we install it also? I have shown you in the beginning, so you can just go back for some time and then you can see. Okay, now let's see the first step. Okay, you need to create a TypeScript project, like Prisma also used a TypeScript. Okay, so you need to have a project initialized with TypeScript. Okay, since Remix already use TypeScript, so we don't need to worry about everything. Okay, now first of all we need to install the, like you can say, just go down. Okay, here we need to install the Prisma first into our application, and how we can install. we just need to write this command npm install Prisma and then hyphen save dev. Like this is the flag, okay, which ensure that like this dependency Prisma it should be installed into our dev dependency. Okay, so let's do it. I will copy this code or you can say command. Then I will go to our terminal. Okay, since you can say here my application is running, we can close this application or we can open a new terminal. There we can navigate to our project and then install it. Okay, but I will suggest guys, whenever you install a new package, okay, you should close your application and then rerun. After installing the packages, just rerun your application. Okay, so to close the application we need to do like control plus C. We can use this, and here first let's clear this terminal. Okay, now here I have already copied the installation command for Prisma, तो ऐसे हम यहाँ पर पेस्ट करते हैं. Okay, and then I will click on this enter button. Okay, so it will install Prisma into our application. So I will show you, like if I go to package or JSON, just here notice guys, in the dev dependency you can say I don't have the Prisma. Okay, so just notice guys, once install the Prisma you can see the version of the Prisma which is installed. Okay, you can see the Prisma here. Okay, so just wait for some time until it's installed. So meanwhile guys, जब तक हमारा application or you can say the project में Prisma install होता है, okay, you can, if you haven't subscribed my channel you can subscribe it. Okay, and also make sure to like this live stream जिससे कि यह live stream और भी लोगों तक पहुंच जाए. Okay, so now you can see here it's like say you can say Prisma has been installed, and we can verify if you go to the package or JSON file. So here you can say it's Prisma has been installed, and you can see the version also, like it's installed of 5.2.1.1. Okay, so like we have installed a Prisma. Now let's see the next step. So in the next step we sorry guys. Okay, नेक्स्ट स्टेप में हमें क्या करना होगा, Prisma ORM को सेटअप करना होगा. टू सेटअप Prisma ORM, okay, we can use the init command. Okay, so we can write like this npx Prisma init and then data source provider. Okay, so provider, data source provider means कि हम कौन सा database को यूज कर रहे हैं. Okay, like Prisma support multiple database like MongoDB, PostgreSQL, SQLite, SQL Server, CockroachDB, like multiple database को सपोर्ट करता है. बट वी नीड टू टेल Prisma कि हम अपने एप्लीकेशन के लिए इस database का यूज कर रहे हैं. Either we are using MongoDB or Postgres or SQL. So we need to mention this thing. Okay, so you can write like till here also, like npx Prisma init, or you can write till here. Okay, I'm mentioning your, you can say the data source. Okay, like I will show you. First I will only write till here. Okay, npx Prisma init. Okay, now let's say if we write till here, then what we will get. Okay, so I will paste the command here. Okay, and press the enter button. Let's see what happened. Now you can see here it's showing your Prisma schema was created at prisma/schema.prisma. Okay, and also here it's showing a warning like you already have a git ignore file. Okay, but you don't need to worry about this warning. Okay, it's only telling us okay कि ये आपके एप्लीकेशन में ऑलरेडी git ignore फाइल था, और हम उसमें सिर्फ हमें .env फाइल को उसमें मेंशन करना है. Okay, don't forget, because Prisma will create a .env file, okay, where we have to write our let's say database connection string. Okay, so it's just telling me or telling us कि हमारे पास ऑलरेडी गेट इग्नोर फाइल है, हमें उस फाइल में .env फाइल को मेंशन करना होगा. ओके, बिकॉज Prisma, if we don't have this git ignore, then Prisma will create for us and he can mention, but if we already have, then it won't write here. We have to write manually. Okay, now it's showing telling us the next step also. You can next step में हमें क्या करना होगा, set the database URL in the env file to point your existing database. Okay, and if your database has no table, you can read this page also. Okay, now also after setting the database URL into our, let's say, env file, then we need to set the provider, okay, of the data source. And where we need to set, inside our schema.prisma file, which created into our, let's say, directory. Inside the directory it's created a Prisma directory, and inside that it created schema.prisma file. Like this file is important. like इस फाइल के अंदर ही हम अपने डाटाबेस का कनेक्शन, उसका जो भी हमें टेबल क्रिएट करना है वो सारा टेबल को हम मेंशन करते हैं. ओके, एंड हियर यू कैन सेट द डाटाबेस, like how many database does Prisma support. You can see here, like it support Postgres, SQL, MySQL, SQLite, SQL Server, MongoDB, CrUD. Like these are the database it support. Okay, so we can use any one among these. Okay, and then after, like, setting up the database and, okay, mentioning the data source, also we need to write run the command and Prisma DB pool. Okay, if we are using an existing database. Okay, and after that we need to write Prisma generate command. Okay, so don't worry if you does not understand, if you don't understand this thing. Okay, don't worry guys. Okay, कोई चिंता का कोई बात नहीं. I will explain everything. Okay, I will make sure कि आपको सारा जो भी मैं कोड यहाँ पर करूँ, आपको सारा कोड सभी प्रॉपर तरीके से समझ में आए और आपके पास कोई भी क्वेरी ना हो. Okay, so now let's clear it. Okay, clear everything. Now what I will do, I will go to our, let's say, VS Code editor, because earlier if you notice we don't have the Prisma directory, but now after running this npx Prisma init, you can say we have a Prisma Prisma folder created, and inside that Prisma you can say we have the schema.prisma. Okay, like this file has been created by using Prisma. Okay, and here you can say it has a generator. Okay, here the provider is prisma/client/js. Okay, we don't need to change here anything. Okay, we have to change this data source. Okay, so here we can change our provider. Okay, like which provider we are using, and also we can change our URL. Okay, you can say the key, but we don't need to change. We just need to ensure, like कि हमारे जो env फाइल है, because it will fetch this key from your env file. So you can say we have a env file here. So we just need to ensure that कि हमारा जो database का connection string है वो env फाइल में database URL की key में store होना चाहिए. Okay, we just need to ensure that. Okay, so here you can say it's just a provide a dummy schema कि कैसे हमारा Postgres SQL का एक database का connection string होता है. We need to change the, let's say, username, password, and the database. Okay, so just change it. So for my let's say Postgres database, username is Postgres. Okay, you can take grab your database credential. Okay, so, and here after this username, then after colon symbol you need to mention your password. Okay, database password. And here you can say after this localhost colon 5432. Okay, after this forward slash you need to write your database name. Okay, so if you, let's say, if you haven't created any database, okay, and you can mention any database name here or any name, it will create those database into your Postgres. Okay, so for my case I will use, let's say, dashboard app. Okay, I will show you guys. Let's say if I go to pg admin. Okay, like pg admin, you can say it's pg admin की मदद से हम अपने postgres SQL को visualize कर सकते हैं. You can consider it's a GUI of our postgres. Okay, you can use command line also to explore your Prisma DB. Okay, but if you are using command line, then you need to write everything by using command. But if you have a pg admin installed, okay, then you can visualize your database, okay, with the help of pg admin. Okay, now here you can say I have our server. Okay, so we need to open our server. Here we need to write a password for our database. I'll write my password. Okay, so now you can say here you can see all the database. Since inside into my system I have created 7 databases. Okay, I have the 7 database. Okay, and if I open the database, you can see all the database, like these are the database which currently I have. Okay, but for this application I want to create a new database. So like with this name, taskboard app. So here you can say I have the taskboard, but I don't have the taskboard app. But once I run the Prisma command to migrate the database, you can see here, okay, there new database will be created. Okay, I will show you like when we need to like write the command also. Okay, so first thing, we just need to mention our database connection string into our env file, and also we need to make sure that .env should exist into our getting node. Okay, first thing we need to do. Then second, we need to go to our schema.prisma file. Okay, here we need to just check the provider should be correct, and then the key name. Okay, this key name should be same the key name. Okay, for the, let's say, connection string, the which key is holding our connection string, it should be same. Okay, you can say database URL and database URL should be same. Okay, so after mentioning these two, okay, we can create table. Okay, now let's see how we can create table. It's pretty simple. First we need to write model. Okay, to create table we need to write model. Okay, then table name. Okay, so I will use board. Okay, or we can use let's say to do also. Let's say to do. Okay, to do only. So here I will do to do list like this, or you can write board also. Okay, anything. So I will create this to do list. Like this will be the table which I will create into our database. Okay, so first thing, we need to mention the key. Okay, like which keys should present. Okay, which we will have, sorry, hold this table. Key you can consider as a column name. Okay, so let's say first column name should be id. Okay, then we need to define the type should be an integer. Okay, and here we can write like it will be a type of id. Okay, and then here default value. Okay, like the default value of this id will be, it should be auto increment. Like let's say if you are creating a multiple to do, okay, at the same time, okay, at once, then this auto increment, what it will do, it will increment this id one by one auto. Okay, we don't need to have to mention the id manually. Okay, it will auto create. Okay, so for that we'll use this, and then the key name. Okay, so like our to do application will have a title. Okay, then we need to mention the type of the title, or you can say data type. So it should be a string. Okay, and you can mention like say if you want to make this optional field. Okay, because by default if you mention any key it will be a required. Okay, by default, but if you want to mention like this field will be optional. Okay, user want to fill it, otherwise it can leave it blank also. Okay, so for that you will just need to mention the, let's say, question mark symbol after the type. Okay, but if you want to use as a required field, we don't need to write anything, we just need to mention the type. Okay, so our to do list will have id, a title, and then it will have a description. Let's say description. Type of this description will be a string. Okay, then what are the things it can have? Let's say it can have a status. Okay, type of the status will be also a string. Okay, or we can write, let's say we can create, because we know status can be fixed. Okay, like for our to-do application, it can be three status, like either it's in progress. Okay, either it's let's say completed. Okay, and one more thing, we can mention any other status also, but I think in progress and completed will be to to do. Okay, and here it should have a to do list or to do. Okay, guys, just give me some time, guys. I think to do list won't have the status thing. Okay, to do list, like you can say, to do list will be a kind of a container which will hold all the to dos. Okay, or you can consider as a kind of a, you can say, box. Okay, inside that box we can put everything. Okay, or every to do. Okay, so if you want to separate it, you can do it. Otherwise, what we can do it, we don't need to create this to-do list table. We can create a to-do table only. Okay, we only need a one to-do. Okay, what we'll do, we'll show a user input field. Okay, if user come to our page, okay, if we enter any field, okay, enter any key, sorry, to-do name, to-do, then it should be created. So our to-do will have a title, description. Okay, and then status. Okay, that's it. I think we don't need anything, any more thing. And like status can be fixed, so we can create a enum for it. So to create a enum, we can write like this: status. Okay, enum, and then enum name. So it will have a pending. Okay, let's say in progress. Okay, and then completed. Okay, let's say our to do will have a four status. You can say four stage. Either it can be have in, can have in pending stage, in progress, or either it can be a completed. Okay, and here we can write like the type of this will be our status. Okay, and here we'll write like by default. Okay, every status by default it will have a pending value. So you can write, let's say, pending like this. Okay, so default value for this status will be a pending. Okay, and one more thing, it should not be a string, it should be a status. Okay, now let's save it. Okay, so now you can say we have created our to do table. Okay, it will have four field: id, title will be string, description, and status. Okay, and then we'll have let's say, okay, enum I have created a status. Okay, now let's migrate this let's say schema with our database. Currently you can see, if we go to our Postgres, okay, if I refresh it, okay, you can see we don't have the database created here. Okay, so we need to communicate, we need to migrate our, let's say, Prisma with our database. Okay, let's say and how we can do it. Okay, so for that we need to write command as npx, okay, Prisma migrate dev, and then we need to write the migration name. Okay, what will be the our migration, like this command we need to mention our name here. So we can write the name as init, as initialization. Okay, now press the enter button. Let's see what it will do. Okay, so like first you can say it created a dashboard app database into our Prisma, and then it migrate the database, like it applies the schema changes to our database. Okay, and also it will generate the Prisma client so that we can communicate with our database. Okay, so just wait for some time, guys. Meanwhile, guys, you can tell like your opinion in the chat section कि यहाँ तक जो भी मैंने अभी तक एक्सप्लेन किया है, वट एवर आई एक्सप्लेन टू यू, ओके, यू आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट, ओके, आपको मेरा एक्सप्लेनेशन प्रॉपर तरीके से समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं? यदि और आपके पास कोई क्वेरी है, देन आल्सो यू कैन मेंशन इन द chat section so that I can try to resolve it. Okay, so now you can see it's generate the Prisma client. Okay, and why it takes too much time, I will tell you guys, because it install a new package into our, let's say, project. It's called Prisma client. I will show you. Okay, if I go to the package.json, okay, so here in the dependency you can notice you can install a new package called Prisma client. But don't worry, it will only install for the first time. Okay, it won't run let's say every time if you migrate it. Okay, like how it ensure like it my let's say for the first time or second time, like you can say if we run this migration command, then for the first time then we don't have this migration folder into our Prisma directory. Okay, but if we have this migration folder, that means we have already run this command. Okay, then it won't install this Prisma client again. Okay, now let's see if we go to our say Postgres or you can say PG admin, and then right click on our Postgres server and then refresh it. And if I open the database, okay, now here you can say we have a new database created, okay, with name task code app. Okay, and if I open it, okay, now if I go to the schema, then public, and then inside that public if I open table, you can see I have this to do. Okay, and if I open this to do also, okay, just give me some time, guys. Okay, like you can see it has this column and everything, and now if I open the column also, you can see all the column which I have created, like id, title, description, and status. Okay, so that means our database is linked with our Prisma, and now we are ready to communicate with our database. Okay, so now let's go to our RMS application. Now we are ready to write the code, okay, to create a new to do. Okay, edit the to do, delete the to do, and update it also. Okay, and one more thing, guys, I want to show you, like let's say for the first time I have created this model and I want to change something. Okay, now here you can say I forgot, like this description field, it should be an optional for the user. If user want to add, give a description to any to do, then he can give, otherwise he can leave as empty. So how we can like define a field as an optional field into our Prisma? So we only need to write this, let's say after the type we need to mention like this as colon, sorry, question mark symbol. Okay, like it will ensure like this field is optional. Okay, like it, then Prisma can ignore while adding let's say query to our database. But if you don't like make this, and if you don't fall let's say um, what you can, we don't adding this description to our database, then at the time it can throw an error if we don't mention it as a option. Okay, so make sure to do it. And now let's say after we have let's say modify some change into our schema. Okay, you have seen there. Now how we can let's say ensure like my database is proper connected, let's say up to date with our Prisma PostgreSQL. Okay, so for that again, just make sure that every time if you are making any change to our schema, okay, you need to generate your client again. Okay, and how you can do it, you just need to write this command. Okay, and yes, Prisma migrate tab. Okay, same command, you can write the same name as well. Okay, so just write this command. Okay, now let's see what it will have. Like you can say applying migration. Okay, now you can say the following migration has been created and apply from new schema changes, like apply the new schema changes, and also it generate a new Prisma client as well. Okay, so it's done. Now let's clear it. Now let's run npm run there. Okay, to run our application. Now what I will do, I will go to my remix application. Let's refresh it. Now you can say it's running fine and we don't have any error. Okay, now what will I will do, I will remove all this thing, the default code, and here I will create an input field first. Okay, let's say an input field, you can say a button first. Okay, now let's see, you can see while coding. Okay, while see you, okay, while seeing me code. Okay, what I'm saying guys, don't worry, यदि आपको नहीं कहीं समझ आ रहा, like can say sometimes I fumble also. Okay, but don't worry, uh, if you are understanding my, let's say what I'm trying to do, okay, if you are getting my point, then it's fine for me. Okay, I just only want to like whatever I do here, you should understand. Okay, that's it. So now what I will do, okay, let's say where can we find this code. Okay, so you can see I have let's say already told you, inside our app, okay, we have an routes folder. Okay, inside that route you can see we have an underscore index.css. Like you can consider it's the root file, or you can say the root page of our application, home page. So if I go to this page, you can see all the code. Okay, like these are the code which is written here. Okay, for this, or you can say the responsible to for this page. You can see here welcome to remix is written here, and it's looking like this. Okay, so now what I will do, I will remove all this code because we don't need this code. Okay, so what we can do, we can delete this code from here, and we can create a fresh div like this, and here we can write, let's say, hello world. And also we don't need these resources. Okay, so what we can do, we can delete these resources as well. Okay, so I will remove it. Okay, let's save it. Okay, now what I will do, I will refresh this page. Okay, let's see what we'll get. Okay, now here you can see we are saying hello world. Okay, now let's create our, let's say, page. Okay, so first of all I need to have let's say, you can see how we can show our form and anything. Okay, let's create a basic user interface. Okay, we won't create a, let's say, a fancy look website. We'll create only a basic application. Okay, so first what I will do, inside this div, okay, I will create a button. Okay, to create a to do application, and once I click this button, okay, let's say create this to do, I will show a form below it. Like this form will have a three field. Like first input field will have like to enter the title, second input field will have to enter the description, and third I think we don't need to provide a, let's say, status. Like by default, like at the time of creation, like once I create a to do, like it will be by default in you can say pending state. Okay, and while updating our to do, we can change the status, like we can change update the title, description, or we can change the status also. Okay, and also we can categorize our to do also, like which to do is in progress, which is in let's say pending, and which one is the, you can say, a completed state. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. Okay, so first let's create a, let's say, button. So here I will write button, and here I will write only, let's say, create to do. Okay, so here you can see we have a create to do button. Like what I want to show this button to the right side of the page. Okay, so let's write some couple of styling. Okay, so to give a style, we'll use Tailwind CSS class. Okay, so here first we'll write, let's say, width. Let's say width should be a 50% of the entire page, and then margin should be auto. Now you can say it should come into between. Yeah, here you can say our button is visual here, and why there is no style on it, I'm not sure. Okay, let's say we'll do it later. So with, okay, and then let's say what we can do, padding we can give it, let's say padding from top, bottom, or let's say outside, it should have 4. Okay, let's do it. Okay, here you can say it has. Okay, so now let's come to this button. I will give the class name. Okay, so class name will be, let's say, self end. If I give, okay, now I think self end is not working. What can we do here? Not, I think float can work. Let's say float end. Okay, if I write float end, yeah, I want to show our create to do button to the right side of the page. Okay, now give the border. So I will write border, and border, I think select 600 will look fine. Okay, yes, I think it's fine. Just give some padding. Okay, so px will be, I think, 4, not s. Px will be 4. Okay, px 4, and py, let's say it has 2. Okay, now like you can see it's looking like this. Okay, let's say it has a one plus symbol also, and let's give some rounded border. So rounded will be MD. Okay, now I guess I think it's looking fine. What do you say, guys? How our create to do button is looking like? Okay, I think it's looking fine. Hmm, if you want to give some hover effect also, you can give it. Let's say if you want to change the color, let's say on hover, so we can write, let's say, on hover, what we want to change the border, or let's say background color, so we can change it, let's say BG, let's say blue 600. Okay, and also we want to change the text color also, so we can change it like this. Okay, so now if we hover it, now it will look like this. Okay, so that's it, guys. Okay, we have created let's say to do button, and let's say now we need to see how we can communicate with our database. Okay, now we have created this table. Okay, so what I want, okay, so here we have a create to do. Once I click on this create to do, it will open a form below it. Okay, but also we want, let's say, once a user visit this page for the first time, I want to show let's say newly created to do also. Okay, and also we want to, so if we don't have any to do also, we want to show some kind of placeholder message, like we don't have the to do. Okay, this message also. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. So first of all, we need to fetch all the to-dos from our database. Okay, let's say how we can do it. Like if we are you have used let's say React, you know, like we can use a use effect, and then we inside that use effect we can, let's say, write a function to call the, let's say, API, and that API will give, let's say, communicate with our database and give me the response, like. Okay, but here in the remix application, okay, we don't need to write like everything inside the use effect. Like let's say we can use a function, like in remix there are already some reserved function which is used to communicate with our database, or we to write the server side logic. Okay, so for the first, if you are if you want to write any kind of let's say logic which should run once you let's say component mount. Okay, then you can write that logic into this, let's say, function called loader. Okay, you just need to ensure that you have exported this function. So we need to write export const loader. Okay, then async, like I know like this will be a async function, so we can write async here. Okay, like this. Okay, now here we can communicate with our database. Okay, so how we can do it? First, we need to import our Prisma client. So I hope you remember, once we migrate our database, let's say Prisma, it generated a Prisma client for our application to communicate with our database. Okay, so we can import it, and from where we can import it, we can use Prisma client like this. Okay, and from Prisma client we will get a Prisma client like this. Okay, so it's done. Now after you have installed, let's say, import a Prisma client, you need to create a Prisma client instance. Okay, and how you can do it? Let's say const, or let's say a Prisma client instance name, you can give it any name. I will give DB, and then here you need to write new Prisma client. Okay, and then close the parenthesis like this. Okay, that's it. Now let's see how we can get the data. Okay, so to get the to-dos, we need to write, let's say, const to-dos. We'll create a variable, and then here we'll write await. Okay, like this will be a synchronous function, and here we write db dot, and if we write dot here, you can say we have this model. Okay, or you can say the table which we have created. Okay, so to db dot to do, and then if I write find menu. Okay, here you can see all the queries. Okay, you can see it's a pretty simple, like it's easier to use if you are using. Okay, yeah, if you are directly communicate with Prisma with data, then at that time you need to write some query. Okay, but here you can see all the option in the method also, you can call or you can query to our database. Okay, so here what we want to find all the data which is stored into our application, or you can set table. So we'll use find many. Okay, that's it. And inside that bracket also you can perform some, say, query also, like you, if you want to find the database which some condition, like if you want to find only those to dos which are in the pending state, or in the completed or success, you can write this. Okay, but for my case I want to fetch all the to do. Okay, so for that we'll write, let's say, const to dos like this, and then we'll return that to dos. Okay, whatever to dos we'll get, will return. Okay, from this loader. Now let's see how can we have the access of the to dos. Okay, okay, so whatever thing will return, okay, we'll get by using this use loader data hook, which is available into this remix. Okay, so we can write, let's say, const to do is equal to use loader data. Okay, Here you just need to ensure it should be imported from @remix slash sorry remix hyphen run slash react. Okay, so just select that option. Okay, here you can say it's imported, use loader data. Okay, and here we'll call it. Okay, now let's see console.log, and if we do the to-dos, okay, let's see what response we'll get here. Let's save this page. Okay, so if we refresh our application, let's say if we have any error, okay, you can say we don't have any error. Now let's open our console menu. So for that, what we'll do control plus shift plus I, and then we'll go to our okay, I think we have some error. Okay, let's okay, I think it's related with hydration. Okay, that you can say my application is running, so we can ignore it. Okay, we can later try to fix it. Okay, but the main thing is you can see here, like the to do which we have console, we have got here. Okay, so to do, but currently in my database we don't have created we haven't created any to do yet, so that's why it give me a empty array. Okay, and this thing also you can see into our network call also. So if we refresh it, okay, let's see, it should show, like you can say if we go to the, it should make a get request. Yeah, get request. I think this one is not. It should have a, let's say you can see a API call, okay, a get request to our home page. I think this one. Yeah. So the case is what I trying to tell you guys. Okay. So once I refresh this page, or I think from any other page, I will, if I navigate to our home page, so it for the first time it will call this loader function. Okay, for the first time, and whatever the logic will write here, it will execute it, and it will whatever thing will return from the loader function we can get by using this use loader hook. Sorry, use loader data hook. Okay, so in this way we'll get our to do. Okay, let's say I think it's showing the unknown database. So let's say here data type. So here you can write, let's say, type of loader. Okay, and now if I open it, you can see it have the type also, like our to do's, like it has title, description, ID, and status. Okay, so that's it. Now what I want to do here, we can categorize our to do as well. Okay, and what I want to do, guys, I want to create a three section. Okay, three section, like first section it will show let's say all the, you can see all the pending to do's. In the second section it will show all the completed, and in the third it will show all the you can say progress. Now in second it will show the progress in progress state to do, and in third all the completed. Okay, like you can say in a task board, if you have worked on any task board project, you can you have seen there. Okay, now let's see how we can do it. Okay, so here I will create a div. Okay, so inside this div, okay, it will have a three children. Okay, in this first div, okay, what I want here, I will show all the pending to do's. Okay, so for that, what I will do, I will write a h1 tag. Okay, and here I will write, let's say, pending. Okay, in the second div, I will again create a h1. I will name it, I will say, in progress. Okay, and in third db, I will create again h1 tag, and I will name it as completed. Okay, let's style this. So I will give the class name as, let's say, grid. Okay, so grid calls -3. Okay, so that's it. And also will keep the width as full. Okay, now let's see how it will look like. If I refresh it, we can say it has 3 columns: pending, in progress, and completed. Okay, let's increase the width. Okay, so I will increase it from, let's say it has the 50%. So from 50% I want to give it, let's say 66, so I can give 2 by 3. Okay, so that it should have a more width. Yeah, that's it guys. So now let's style the some, you can say give some class name to this h1 also. So h1 text should be on center, font should be semi bold. Okay, and text, let's say excel should be some bigger size since it's just text set. Okay, now it's looking like this. Okay, on this tip I want to give some margin as top as 3. Okay, so that it should have gap from this. Why it does not have empty 3? Okay, 3 is not working. Let's say empty 4. It does not have any gap from bottom. I want it should have a gap for, let's say, if I give, let's say, inline block property to this button, if I refresh it, or does not have. No worry guys, let's test with flags also. Okay, so flags call, and then gap I will give at 4. Let's see. Okay, now it's taking the full width. Okay, it has the gap, but it has the full width, which I don't want. Okay, to this button. So what I will do, I will do w-pick. Let's refresh it. Okay, it's done. And now let's make it to the end. So float end, I think it's not working. Let's give it a self in. Okay, now we can say it has come to the right side, which I want. Okay. Okay, so it's done. Now let's give the border to this. So I will give border. Let's say border slash 600. Okay, so it's, okay, it's looking fine. Now let's see what we want to do. Okay, let's think for a second. Okay, here we will only give, let's say, flags call, and we don't want to give the, let's say, gap. Okay, here we'll create another div. Okay, like this, and I will apply some class name to this div. Okay, so class name will be, let's say, grid, and then grid false 3. Let's say how it will look like. You can say it's looking same. Okay, here we want, first I want to change the background color to this. Okay, so let's say I want to give the bg as blue 300. Now let's see how it will look. Yeah, I think it's looking fine. Just give some padding. So let's say padding will be 2 from top, bottom, and left, right. Okay, now I guess looking fine. Okay, what do you say guys? Now what I want, okay, now it has this. Now below this, okay, now it will look like a table. Okay, so whatever my to do is in pending state, it will show in this column. Okay, whatever to do which will be in progress, जो in progress state में होगा वो इस कॉलम के यहाँ दिखेगा, एंड जो भी completed है स्टेट में होगा वो यहाँ दिखेगा इस टेबल के अंदर, और यू कैन से कॉलम के नीचे. Okay, now I think you are getting my point. Okay, we can create a table here also, but I think in this way I find it more easier, but you can create a table also if you want. Okay, now what we need to do, let's say, okay, so for this border, okay, we need to give some border here. So let's say we can give, let's say, border right, okay, and we can give, let's say, border slash 600, okay, and same class name we can copy and we can apply to the second div as well. Now if I refresh it, you can see it looking like this, but it has this gap. Okay, so to remove it, we can remove this p2 from here, cut it, and we can give individually to every div, okay, like this, and also class name p2. Let's save it. Okay, and if we do it now, you can say now it's looking like this. Okay, which is okay according to me. Okay, now below this div, okay, you can consider it's or a header. Okay, now below we can create a body. Okay, same in a similar way, so we can copy this class name, like it will also have the same class name. We just need to change the background color. Okay, so we'll do, let's say, control Z. Okay, class name, and then here we'll paste it. What is that? Just copy this class name till here. Okay, we only need till here. Let's save it. Okay, we don't see anything here. Okay, but here we can categorize it. Okay, let's say in first div we will show all the to do which is in progress or in pending. In a second we'll show all the to do which is in progress state, and in last we can show all the completed to do. Okay, now let's see how we can do it. Okay, so in the first div, okay, let's say in first div we need to show the to do which is in progress. Hmm. So here we can write, so first we need to filter our to do. Okay, all the pending to do should be visible here only. So we need to filter the to do. Okay, so how we can do it? So here first we write, let's say, to do's dot length. First we check if our to do is, the length of the to do is greater than 0. Okay, if this is the case, then first we'll get all the, you can say, to do which is in progress. How we can do it? To do dash filter. Okay, we'll write a filter method here. Then here we'll get a to do. Okay, and here we'll write, let's say, if to do dot status. Okay, if it is equal to, here you can say we are getting the suggestion, so we can write, let's say, pending. Okay, so in this way we'll get all the to do which is in pending state. Now we can write a map operation to it. So map will write to do, and then here we can write our, we can show a div. So let's say we'll write a div. Okay, we can pass the key as, let's say, to do dot id. Okay, like id will be unique, and then here we only show two things. Okay, so what two thing will show here? Let's say we'll show our paragraph. Okay, we'll show the title. So here we write to do dot title. Okay, and below it we'll show description if it has. So write to do dot description. Okay, That's it. But if we don't have, let's say length is 0, then we don't need to show anything. We'll write only null. That's it, guys. Because if we have any to do which is in progress, then it will show here. Okay, now before applying any style to it, what I want to quickly create a function which will create a to do. Okay, so now I want to create a, let's say, form. Like once I click on this create to do, it will show a form below to it. Okay, and inside that form will let's say add our create our to do. Okay, with the help of that form. Let's say how we can do it. Okay, so here you can see what kind of logic I want. If I click on this create to do button, it should show a form. Okay, so for that what I will do, I will use a use state hook here. So here I will write so form. Okay, set so form. Okay, it will it will be type of a, sorry, not type of, it will be a use state hook. Okay, and the initial value should be of false. Okay, means by default our form will not be visible to the user. It will only visible once this so form value will be true. Okay, now how we can do it? Here we write a curly bracket, and here we write is so form. Okay, if it is true, okay, then here we'll create a form. Okay, and this form will be imported from remix. Okay, so we'll import a form from remix. Okay, here we can mention the method of this form, like it should be a post method. Okay, like this. Okay, now we can, I think we can take this field. Okay, like I got this suggestion from, and like the, you can say I'm using a tab 9 extension, so from that extension I'm getting this suggestion. Okay, and we can use it. Okay, it's saving some time for me. Okay, so the thing is, you can see here I have created one label for title. Okay, an input field to enter the title and the description. Okay, input field to enter the description, and one submit button to create the to do. Okay, and also below this I want to create a button. Okay, to cancel to close the form as well. Okay, so we can create a button like this. So button, okay, it will be a cancel button. Okay, once I click on this cancel, it will close the form. Okay, and on this button, once I click on this button, okay, I will apply on click event, and what will it will do, it will open the form. So that's it. So form to true. Let's save it. Now we can test our application as well. Okay, let's see everything is fine. Okay, and here you can say it's saving our applications. Just wait for some time until it's saved. Okay, to avoid any kind of error. Like it's taking some time because of my system processor, guys. Like I have the low system. Okay, or you can say my system has the low processor. That's why it always take too much time for me. But if you have a, let's say, application, or you can say a laptop with good processor, then for your case, guys, it won't take too much time. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. I just need to mute. Okay, I think it's taking too much time. What I can do here, guys, I can reload my VS Code window. Okay, just reload. Here you can say it failed to save. Okay, now I have reload my VS Code window. Now it will also reload all the extension. Okay, so just wait for some time. Oh, I know it won't take too much time as earlier. Okay, now let's save it. It's activating the extension. Fail to save. Why it's failing to save? Let's overwrite it now. Okay, now it's saved, I think. Now let's go to our browser. Let's refresh it. Okay, let's say if we still have this error or not. Okay, today we don't have any error. Okay, now let's test this button, like what happened once I create this create to do. Okay, if I click on this, you can see here it's shown a form like this: title, description, and create to do and cancel button, which is not looking good according to me. Okay, so let's apply some basic style to it. Okay, so how I want. Okay, let's say I don't want. I think our form should have an input field. Or let's say what I'm saying. I also not understanding. Okay, the thing is I want to give a class name to this form. Okay, so class name is like it will have a full width. Okay, it will have display as flex. Okay, direction of this flex will be column, and it will have a gap to, let's say, 4. Okay, now I want to group this label and input field. So for that I will create a div. Okay, and inside that I will paste my label and input. Similar, I will also group this label and input like this. Okay, and also group these two button also. Okay, done. Now let's give the some class name to this input field. So class name will be, let's say, border. Okay, and border, let's say, slat 600. Okay, and similar class name I will give to this. Let's select this class name, and I will give to this text, or you can say text area as well. And for this button I will give some class name, let's say flex, justify end, and gap, let's say 2. Okay, 2 is fine, I guess. Let's say create again, and now you can see it's showing this title and everything is like this. Again, I think it's not looking well according to me. So here I will, what I will do, I think it's showing table, sorry, label and description in line, which I don't want. Should come at to the top bottom. Okay, so what I will do in this case, I will write, let's say, class name as block. Okay, similar, I will give class name as block to this label as well. Now let's create this. I can say it's looking like this. Okay, which is fine. Let's give this full width to this input field. Okay, so here I will write w hyphen full. I will give some padding from top, bottom, and left, right, and I will give rounded hyphen md, rounded border. Okay, again copy this, and I will paste it here. Okay, now I will give some, let's say, calls, or not calls, rows. So how many rows it should have? By default it should have a 3 rows. Let's save it. Let's, now you can see our form is looking like this. Once I click on this create, it will show a form like this: title, description, and then 2 button for create and cancel. Okay, now let's give some placeholder to this input field as well. So here we'll write enter your to do title and description for the text area as well. So we'll write not description, placeholder, and placeholder will be enter your to do description. Okay, like this. Let's save it. Now you can see it will look like this. Okay, now I want my cancel button to the top. Okay, now let's give some class name to this button as well. So class name, first I will give some, let's say bg hyphen red hyphen, let's say 700. I will want to give some padding. From left right it should have 4, and from top button it should have 2. Okay, and for this submit button, let's say class name, I want to give some bg blue, I think 700. Okay, similar px should be 4 and py should be 2. Let's save it. But now you can say it will look like this. And also I want to change the text color, so text should be white and brown red. I want to change the corner as well. Okay, same thing here, text white and brown red md. Let's save it. Now you can see it will look like this: create to do and a cancel. And if I click on this cancel, it will close the form. If I click on create to do, it will open that. Okay, now let's write a logic to add a title and everything. And here you can see it's already, I think for this case I think both fields are required. Okay, so now what I want this, let's say this text area can be a optional thing. For that I will remove this required from here. Okay, so like in order to like submit this form, we need to at least have this title. Okay, so now let's write a logic to create a to do. Let's say you can see like similar to loader in Remix we have an action function. So let's say if you want to perform any kind of post method or update or delete method into our application, okay, like this kind of operation if you want to perform, then you can use a action function which is available inside our Remix. So you can write, let's say similar to loader, you can write export const action. Okay, it will also be a async function like this. Now let's say where we get data. Okay, so like this action function will take an object as a parameter, and the type of this object will be an, you can say action. You can get it from this remix slash run. Okay, so you can get it here, action function argument. Okay, so if you, let's say here, you will get a request body. So whatever the payload you will send, okay, from this form, okay, yahan se you can access it from this request. Okay, let's say how we can do it. So first we need to write, let's say const form data. Okay, and we can get this form data by using, let's say await request dot form data. Okay, and let's say first we need to console this form data. Let's say what we will get. Okay, form data, form data. Okay, now let's go to our application and just refresh it. Okay, so I have refreshed it. Now what I need to do, let's say first I will go to my terminal. Okay, here. So here we'll get a console, whatever will return, let's say console from here, action will get printed here. Will won't get into our browser because it's not running on the client side, it will run on the server side. Okay, so let's see, let's do it. So I will come to my, I will open the form. Here I will write my to do, like you can say write first to do. Okay, I will leave this description as empty. Now I will write create. Okay, you can see I'm getting a error. You can see the error message indicating like you defined an action for route. Okay, but you did not return anything from the action function. Please return a value or null. Okay, so here you need to always make sure, okay, inside the loader as well as the action function, okay, like these two function at least return a value. Okay, and if it does not have any value to return, it should return a null value. Okay, then only your application will work. Okay, otherwise it will fail. So now let's do it again. So here I will write first to do, and here I will click on this create to do, and say it's running fine. Now here you can see inside our form data I got a form data with these two fields. Let's say title and description. Inside the title I got first to do, and the description I am getting an empty. Okay, so here you can say if you are using you have used let's say React, then you have seen like we need to use some kind of state, use state to store the input field and input field value. But with the, let's say, in case of remix, you don't need to write let's say state. Here you need to create an input field. Okay, here only you need to specify the name of this input field. Okay, you only need to specify this thing, and then once you click on this submit button, you can say here, once you click on this submit button, it will make an API call, let's say, to this, let's say it will make an action function, okay, on this route. Okay, and here you can write your server side logic. Okay, so from this form data, as you can see, we will get a title, so we can extract it like this. Let's say const title equal to form data dot get title. Okay, like this, and similar also will get a description, so you can write const description is also as a form data dot get description, like this. Okay, so now let's say, okay, so here we need to write our logic to store this, let's say, to do into our database. And how we can do it, we can use, let's say, const response. Okay, I think we don't need the response as well. Here we can only write, let's say, await. Okay, and I hope you remember I have created a DB instance from with the help of Prisma client, so we can use, let's say, DB dot to do. Okay, dot, we can write create. Okay, like this, and here we can mention our data. So data, it should be like this, title and description. Okay, that's it. Okay, I think there's some error. You can say form entry value null is not as unable to type string null and undefined. Okay, so here we need to mention like the type of this title will be a string, so we can write like this. Okay, now you can say we haven't any error for the title. Similar we'll need to do for description also, so we can do it like this. Okay, so once it create a, let's say, data, or not data, let's say to do it, insert a to do into a table, then here we can return a message like this. Let's say message equal to, let's say, to do added, like this. Okay, we can do it. And now let's see how we can get a response. Okay, so similar to this loader, use loader hook, we have a huge action data hook also, we can use it. So here we can say, let's say, action data, whatever action data we'll get it with this help of use action data hook. Okay, here also we can mention the type of this, let's say type of this will be a action function. Whatever the type value will return from this action, it will be type of this. So if I use it, you can say it will have a message field. Okay, so that's it. I hope everything is done. Okay, now let's test our application. Okay, now here I will do create to do. Okay, first to do. Okay, now if I click on this create to do, here you can see I got my first to do. Okay, so one magic I want to show you guys. Okay, यहाँ पर मैं आपको एक चीज इसका जैसे रिमिक्स का एक बेनिफिट आपको बताना चाहता हूँ. ओके, like if you have used a React, no, just compare with React. Okay, so if you have used React, so you have noticed कि जब भी हम कोई एक पोस्ट मेथड क्रिएट करते हैं ना, React में पोस्ट मेथड क्रिएट करते हैं, एंड एट अ टाइम हमें ऐसे अपने यूजर यूआई को भी उस मेथड के अनुसार अपडेट करना होता है. देन आफ्टर क्रिएटिंग दिस लेट्स post method, we need to again call our action sorry get method. Okay, so that our UI should be updated, but here is not the case. Like Remix is smart enough to understand कि यार आपने इस todo में let's say टेबल में कुछ डाटा को एंटर किया है and you need to like refresh our to do. Okay, so what is it will do now? Okay, once you call this action function, so it will again load this data. It will it won't let's say reload your page. Okay, it will only call this loader function and it will paste the latest data from our table and it will show to the UI. Okay, so here you can say if we create a let's say any title sorry any to do here, let's say first to do, if we do second to do also, and if we click on this create, you can say we got immediately we will get a second to do here. Okay, so I hope you got my point. Just give me a second, guys. I need to make my laptop a charge. Not make food. Okay, guys. So I'm back. So I have here you can say we have created a product. One more thing I want to show you guys. Okay, I want to do like once I create a to do. Okay, so what I want to should clear this field. Okay, as well once I create this to do, it should clear the field and also it should close the form as well. Okay, okay. First I will clear this, then we'll later we will write a logic for update the to do as well. Okay, how we can update our created to do, like how we can make it progress or complete. Okay, now let's see. So first thing, let's see what I want to do here. Let's I will say if I create my first video. Okay, here also I quickly if I click on create, okay, I will get my first to do, but my form I can clear that if I want to close it. Okay, and also here if I want to do a loader, or if you want to disable the loader, created for that how how it goes. First, we need to use output from for data. We can write to provide which will be goes from previous plus yeah. Okay, here we can create a variable called sub. And it will have a three value, the idle, loading, and submitting. So once we are submitting for, okay, at the time our for state will be submitting state, so we can take it from here. So here submitting will only do once our state is submitted. Once it submit the for, will again shift back to idle state. At that time for for. Right here we can write table property table, and our button will be table once submitting is true. And here we can also go and start the operator. Creating if it is false, this was if it is again get to work to created. Yeah, I think change that's why the uh, if I try to add up or if I want to change yeah, that's what this is what you tell what excited so we got here I to add the summary of the जहाँ पे bottom को हमारे लिए नीचे बना was that go back that for here and now from the table this is also add that find here creating now the next one I want first I created it from that brand how we can take it out. Okay, and here here we write if we have a message from action data. Okay, if we have action data dot message. Okay, if we have a message field, then we will use this is it. So for to pass. That's it. Okay, and we need to monitor this action data dot message. So with the action data dot message like this. So it's done. Now let's create our new to do. Let's say 9 one. So 9 to do, create to do. Once I created it, you can see our form has been closed. Once I open it, you can see everything is back to sorry guys. Okay. So it's done. Now let's quickly style this field as well. Okay, so that our photo should look nice. Okay. We just need to style it. Okay. Now let's see. I think we can close this for. Okay, we don't need to use this. Okay. Let's see how we can do it. Do you have any idea like how we can do it? First, let's give the class name on this div I guess. Here we will have a class name flag ball. Okay, we'll give a gap. The gap should be a 3. Okay, and also we'll want to give some kind of padding. The padding should be 4. Okay, now I guess it's super fine. Okay, now let's apply some class name to this below item as well. So here first, let's say first again I'll one more thing. I want to change this background color. So background let's say fill or I think same background color will work. Let's say gray. Let's give some like 200. Okay. Here let's say BG. Let's try this fill. Okay, fill 400 border. Let's say MD, and then we'll give a let's say thin border as well. Okay, or not border MD, rounded MD. Okay, that's it. Let's give some, and also we'll keep some item center property. Give some class name to this title. So let's say text, not Excel. Let's say text semi-bold, not text semi-bold. Font semi-bold. Font semi-bold. That's it. And for this paragraph, let's give some class name. Italic white. Okay. Background color of this blue 400. Top bottom, four. Now I guess it's fine. Just need to increase the rounded corner. Okay, should be Excel. Okay, now I think it's good. What do you say, guys? What do you have to say anything about my UI design? Okay, so if it is in pending, I will show in this color. If it is in progress, I will show in different color. And if it's completed, I will show in a different color. Okay, let's see. For pending, I think blue is not looking good. Let's say change to orange. Okay, for pending, it should show in orange color. Okay, I think orange is looking good. Okay, and also it's in the text color. Text slate 200. Okay, 400. So I think white is fine. White was fine. So pending for in progress topic. So here, this is my first. And after this, I will get I after that same class topic is class. There are other topic is otherwise like basic. There are group topic. Right. That I think I will learn. We only the part of completed. I will create a create background. Okay. And for let's say in progress, I will do up. Okay. Now we need to just write let's say update method. So once I click on this first video, I do I can update the title, description. I think also I can change the status also. Okay, let's see how we can give this. Okay, and also we have okay. So do you have any idea how we can do it? So I tell you what I can do here. I can if you have any idea. Okay, now let's try it. So what I want to do is to commit okay, for okay, and here okay, we'll to have the details already. So, logic, so this is how we can do it. So for below this for also here will go instead of here then let's So now what I want, once I click on this, first to do, so because it open the box, because now I think that first here what I will do, I will click form data, then form data, then form data, but it has title, description, okay, and also it will have a status. Okay, which initial value of this let's put it only. Okay, let it be okay. Now what I want. Okay, if I click any of this form, let's say any of these here on this div. Okay, if I click on this div, so first what I will do, I will want to change the cursor style. Should be a click. I want to create a function first. Okay, so let's create a function. Let's say const update. You can say not task update to do. Okay, like this, and it will have the to do ID here. So to do ID is type of your number. Okay, and what it will do with the help of this to do, it will get to do. Let's say the const to do, I will get it. So I will have this to do's, and here I will use to do dot find to do, and here I will write to do dot id is equal to id. Okay, so here inside it to do, I will get my to do. So the id title is the rest. You will get everything here. Now what I will do, I will do the quickly, I will do set form data. Okay, to title as to do dot title, similar description. I will do to do dot description. Okay, again, okay, we'll use status. It will be a to do dot status. So now I think it has some error undefined for the case of undefined. So here we can write and let's say external sorry extra what exclamation mark, okay, to avoid this undefined error like this, and at the end we'll do set so far to true. Let's do it. Okay, now inside this form, okay, I will open this form. So on this input field, okay, I will make it a control label. So here I will write value will be form data will title, then here you can write on change. Okay, so on change, here we can create an function called handle change, okay, which will take an event. Okay, and its type of this event will be let's say react dot change event. Okay, and it's a change event of html input field. Okay, like this. So now here we'll get, let's say, name and value from that let's say event dot target. Okay, now here we'll do, let's say, set form data. Okay, like this. So here first we'll destructure our form data. Okay, and then here we'll write lesson name is equal to value, like this. Let's save it. Okay, so now let's do it here. So on change I will pass this handle change function. Similar thing I will do to this text area. Okay, now how we can do it? So here we'll write, let's say value. Value will be, let's say, form data dot description, and then on change. And on change will be handle change. Okay, nothing is done error. Okay, I got it. Why it's saying an error? Here I have write HTML input element. And similar, it can be a HTML, let's say text area. And we have a text area. Okay, now I think we don't have any error here. Okay. Now what I want, okay, below this input field, I want to show a status button also. Okay, and it can be a, let's say, a radio button. Okay, it should be a type of radio button. Why? Like to change the status. Okay, like if I want to change the status from in pending to in progress or in progress to completed, then we can do it. Okay, so here we only need to write if our form data dot status, if it is have any value, then only we show this. Okay, otherwise we won't show it. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. So first I will create a label for status. Okay, here I will write the status. So similar thing, we need to give the same class name to this label. So I will copy this. Okay, and I will paste here. Okay, below this label, now I will create a three input field. Okay, so let's create input type radio and multiply by 3. And I think I forgot to create that input type radio. I don't think so. Radio. Input type radio. Yeah, like this. I was writing radio on. That's why it's doing different. Okay, so now it will have a table. Name should be same for every input field. Status, okay, status and status. Okay, ID is not required, or this, or we can give the same. Okay, on ID also we can give a status, status. Okay, just value will be addition. Okay, so for the third one, it should have value as completed. Okay, for this value should we have let's say in progress. Okay, for this it should have value as, let's say, pending. Okay, and also I think we have one check property for this. Yeah, and how it will check. So here we'll write if form data dot status, if it is equal to pending. Okay, I think we will do that. We are not doing that. But otherwise we can write, okay, if the status is, if a form data dot status is pending, then this input field will check. Okay, similar to it, we can do it for the next input field as well. But here we will write a condition as in progress. Okay, and similar thing we can do here as well, but condition will be, let's say, completed. Okay, and after this input we need to write some, let's say, value to it also. Okay, now value should be, let's say, for this it will be so pending. in progress. Okay, and then completed. Now let's save it. Okay, now let's try to do it. Okay, again if I click on this, nothing has happened because I haven't called this function. Okay, so I need to call this. So on this div, what I will do, I will write an on click event. Okay, so here on click, it will call a callback function. Then write handle, not handle, update to do, and here we need to pass that, let's say, to do plus id. Okay, we'll pass it. Now once I click on this first to do, let's see basic. Now click on first to do. Now you can see we have first to do. Okay, value is already filled here, and we have the status also pending, and you can see currently my pending state is true. Okay, but we can change this pending to in progress. Okay, no, it's not working. We have to change it. Can do it. No worry. Okay, and also if I click on this cancel, if I click create to do, you can see form is already getting filled. And we need to make sure once I click on this cancel, then every field should be reset. Okay, we need to handle that case as well. So here on, let's say on click, instead of calling this set so far, here we can create a function called, let's say, handle cancel. Okay, and what it will do, okay, let's say here we can create this function. Let's say handle cancel. Okay, like this, and first it will do, let's say, set so far to false, and also it can update our form data as well as a title, description, and status like this. Why we are getting this status description. Okay, object literal may only specify unknown property, and description does not exist in type. Why we have this description? Okay, decryption. We have DSCRIPTIO. There's spelling mistake there was. Yes, description. Okay, so here we have the mistake with description. Yes, CRIPTIO. Okay, now it's correct. Okay, so now let's test again. Okay, let's refresh it. Click on the second to do, click on cancel, click on create to do, click on cancel, click on second to do. Now just make some space, and now this here you can say we can update it. You can update the description as well, but we are not trying to let's update this status. We need to update it as well. So let's try to do it. Okay. So here only we need to pass this, let's say, on change and the change function. Yeah, we only need to do this. Okay, here also on change and the change. Okay, similar to here also on change and the change. Okay, let's do it. Let's refresh it. Now let's click on this first to do. Okay, now if I click on this, it's working. We can change the status as well. Okay, now I think we need to give some gap. Okay, so here what we can do, we can use some class name. Okay, and we can write, let's say, mr, so kept from right side to true. Similar to it, let's say class name mr2. Let's see how it will look. I think mr is not working. Okay, instead of mr, if I do ml, then will it work? Let's see. ml2, and for last input field also I will give class name as ml-2. Now I guess It will look fine. Okay, yes, I think that's looking fine. Okay, and also we need to change this create to do also. Okay, it won't say like so this create to do. Okay, instead of create to do, it's so the update to the function. Yeah, hi Genex 93. Okay, welcome to my stream. So let's see how we can show this. Like we want to show this button only once we are creating this to do. Okay. So now at a time, I think our create to do will won't work. But if I cancel it, if I click on create to do, then you can see it should show create to do button. Yeah, I am from India. Can you tell me where are you from? Okay, now I want to like change this button. So now let's do it. Here we can write an up, let's say ternary operator. So here we'll write, let's say if we can change one thing, let's say if form data dot status, we can change by using status as well. Okay, if form data dot status, if it has any value. Okay, because for creating tasks or to do, our form data dot status won't have any value. भाई full stack सिखा दो. So I can help you to first आप मुझे इतना बताइए कि आपको कोई वन स्टैक लाइक यू वांट टू लर्न अ वन स्टैक ना. तो आपको वन स्टैक में कोई बिगिनर नॉलेज है या आपको मतलब आप अपने आप को कौन से स्टेप पर कंसीडर करते हैं? आइदर आर यू बिगिनर के मतलब सब नॉलेज है या नहीं, आर इंटरमीडिएट, कौन से स्टेप आप हैं? दैट्स व्हाई आई कैन प्लान टू create some kind of stuff like you so that you can learn a full stack. बाय द वे आज का जो मैं प्रोजेक्ट जो क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ वो भी एक फुल स्टैक प्रोजेक्ट ही है, जिसमें हम फ्रंट एंड और बैक एंड दोनों यूज करेंगे दोनों टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करके एक एप्लीकेशन को क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. इट्स काइंड ऑफ बेसिक टू डू लिस्ट काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन, जहाँ पर हम जैसे बैकएंड को भी यूटिलाइज करेंगे डाटाबेस को कॉल करके, थोड़ा थोड़ा बिगनर. नो वरी. सो डू यू नो अबाउट रिएक्ट? क्या आपके पास रिएक्ट कोई नॉलेज है? जस्ट टेल मी. Okay, for this I think I should have a button. Okay, now here similar thing again we need to do it. If it's submitting, okay, then it will show updating to do. Okay, otherwise it will show let's say update to do. Okay, let's save it, and I think it will have the same class name or property for this button as well. Now I will show you how we can distinguish between these two buttons. Okay. Yes, I know the root. Okay, then it's fine. Okay, so I will tell you like for this today live stream I choose remix. Okay, like remix भी एक full stack framework है जो कि react के ऊपर बना है. ओके, लाइक इसमें हम क्लाइंट साइड और सर्वर साइड रेंडरिंग दोनों का फंक्शनलिटी इसमें यूज कर सकते हैं. नाउ आई विल show you what I have done here. Like I have used first I have initialized my Remix application. Okay, you can go to the Remix documentation. Like it's pretty simple. जैसे हम रिएक्ट एप्लीकेशन को इनिशियलाइज करते हैं, सिमिलर वे हम Remix एप्लीकेशन को भी इनिशियलाइज कर सकते हैं. We only need to write command as command का जो सिंटेक्स है वो डिफरेंट है थोड़ा रिमिक्स में. रिमिक्स में हम npx क्रिएट रिमिक्स करते हैं, उसकी मदद से हम रिमिक्स एप्लीकेशन को क्रिएट करते हैं. तो फॉर द फर्स्ट, ओके, आई हैव let's say created my remix application. Then in order to communicate, okay, to store the data into a database, I chose postgres database. Okay, so I have used this postgres database here. And in order to communicate with our post database, I use Prisma ORM. Okay, but if you don't know about a Prisma, but there are lots of stuff here. Remix for like for first, you can see, just consider it's kind of framework. Okay, it's pretty simple to use. Okay, first install this remix, then again you need to set up your database. Okay, so in order to set up, I will recommend you to use Prisma, because Prisma is let's say easy to, like, it provide very make it will make easy to query with your database. Okay, and also it's very easy to initialize a Prisma, okay, into your application. Like here you can say I need only need to create this single file. Okay, the schema.prisma, that's it. And apart from it, I don't need to create anything. But if you are using any Node.js application, and here there if you are creating let's say creating any kind of database connection, then you need to create a separate file for create model to write let's say query also. Okay, you need to create a separate folder and file. But here in a single file you can handle everything. First you need to just mention the database inside your data source. Okay, like which database you are using, either MongoDB, Postgres, or anything. And then here you need to mention your URL. Okay, like you can say, you can directly mention here, but it will recommended that you should mention your database connection string into our .env file. Please make a video including more. Okay, login, logout, client dashboard, admin dashboard, and okay, I got your idea. Okay, so I will do. Thank you for your subscription. Okay, so what I will do, Genesis, I will create a, let's say, a separate I will project. Okay, where we can see how we can implement or login, logout. Okay, and separate your client and admin dashboard. Okay, no worry. Just please make sure like which tech stack, like in which tech stack you want me to create a project. Okay, either I can use I can proceed with this remix, or you want me to create a project in with React application, sorry, React or Next.js. Okay, I think remix is fine for you, no? Just let me know so that I can plan that project. Okay, just इतना मुझे जानकारी चाहिए कि क्या मैं रिएक्स में रिमिक्स में ही बनाऊँ या नहीं, रिमिक्स या आपके लिए बढ़िया पड़ेगा या नहीं। और आई थिंक but I will create a separate. I'm beginner developer. I create, okay, this board. Okay, okay, got it. Okay, so if you are a beginner, then I think React will be easier for you. Okay, so I will show you. Okay, in a React application. Okay, got it, got it. I know. अभी रिमिक्स अभी पॉपुलर हो रहा है, अभी उतना ज़्यादा पॉपुलर नहीं है। नेक्स्ट ईयर आप, आई थिंक आपने उसके बारे में जरूर सुना होगा। नेक्स्ट ईयर ये भी एक फुल स्टैक फ्रेमवर्क है, बट बिगिनर के लिए आई थिंक रिएक्ट इजियर होगा। सो विल क्रिएट एन रिएक्ट ओनली, डोंट वरी। So now let's finish the today application. I think we have done almost every functionality. I have done it. We just need to implement update and delete. Okay, and then it will can be done. And I think delete button. So here I think I can give a delete button. Okay, let's only focus on first part one. Okay, one thing at a time. So now what I want to update my task. Okay, like so for that we need to create a function. Okay, now what I want to highlight here, guys. So once I click on this update now, let's say here for your case only, if I click on this update to do, so now you can see it will add a new to do inside mine. Like anyway, I want to update it. No? Let's say if I want to update this 9 to do, I will click, sorry, 8 to do. I will change this status. Okay, and I want to update it. Now once I update it, you can say it has not updated, but instead of it, it's adding this to do inside my application, which I don't want. Okay, I want to update it. Let's see how we can do it. One thing I want to notice that. Okay, okay, got it. Okay, so here it's creating a new to-do, but which I don't want to. I want to. Okay, so here why it's happening first of all, the thing I want to highlight, guys. So here, like say whatever thing here you can say I have created a var. Okay, and then method is post. Okay, so whenever I call any this is submit function. Okay, similar to let's say submit button like this. Okay, bro, your Discord link is invalid, can you send me? Are you not able to open my Discord? Wait, I will send you. Okay, I have shared the Discord link. Okay, like you can say मस्ती की दुनिया है, मैंने दूसरा चैनल क्रिएट किया था, तो ये लिंक जो है आप इस लिंक को यूज करके आप मेरे डिस्कॉर्ड और मुझे फ्रेंड रिक्वेस्ट सेंड कर सकते हैं. Okay, and then we can communicate there. Okay, and also I will update this Discord link into my description as well. Okay, don't worry. Now let's try to. Okay, okay, where I was. Okay, so I was telling. Okay, So like both function will let me, like once I click on this either update or submit, then at a time it will call this action function, and here it will try to update our to do. You cannot say update create. You can say, okay, I have said on Discord, okay, मस्ती की दुनिया, यदि आप चैट में ही देख सकते हैं, मस्ती की दुनिया नाम से एक चैनल है, और से यूजर डिस्कॉर्ड का जो भेजा है मैंने लिंक, वो मैंने ही सेंड किया. यू कैन टेक दिस. और जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकंड, आई विल फॉर यू. Just wait for some time. I will send. I have pinned my Discord server link. Okay? You can take it from here. You are welcome. Okay, so where I was, okay, I was updating. Okay, okay. So what I was telling, like both the submit button will take me to this action function, but something different. Okay, we need to tell this action function, like at a time I want to create this to do, and now at a time I want to update it. Yes, similar to this second button as well. Here we'll pass this name as action and value as create. Okay, like this. Now we'll save it. Now we'll go to the top. Okay, inside our action function. Let's see where it is. Here. So along with this title and description, here also we'll get the status. Okay, and status will be form dot get status, and also we'll get the action. Okay, and action will be form data dot get, and the name I think we need to mention here. That's the action. Okay, and type of this, it will be also a string. Okay, and here we can write a simple if else kinds of let's say logic. Like if our action is create, then we'll create our to do. If it is update, then we'll update our, and if it is a delete, then we can delete. Okay, so here to make it simpler, we instead of if else, we can use action as well. So we can write switch action Okay, here we write case. Okay, so if it is create, okay, then we will call this function, or can say we can call this logic await db dot to do dot create. Okay, and then we'll break it. Okay, otherwise if case is equal to update, okay, then here we'll write, let's say await, let's say db dot to do dot update. Okay, now here you can say we need to have some kind of parameter so that we can know like which to do we are going to update. Here we don't have any unit such kind of, and also we can't create a input field with the id. Let's say user also don't know like which to do, like that they are trying to update, what is the id for that to do. Okay, this thing we only know as a developer, we know कि इस to do का ये id होगा, but हमें ये कोड को भी बताना होगा कि हम इस to do को अपडेट करना चाहते हैं, हम उससे कैसे बता सकते हैं. Okay, so we can do it. It's pretty simple, guys. So here also we can create an input field, okay, like this input. Okay, and it can be a hidden. Okay, hidden means it won't be visible on the page. Okay, so like this input, and here we can write name, and value will pass as, let's say, todo dot id, like this, or not todo. I think todo will won't work here. Let's say how we can pass the id for. Yes, I think one thing we can do it. We can create a ID field also. Okay, into our form data. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so what we'll do, our form data, like it has title, description, everything. Also, it will have an ID. Okay, type of this will be a string. Okay, here also will pass ID will be an empty. Okay, if we are canceling it. Okay, but if we are update this to do now, then at that time, okay, our ID will be, let's say, to do ID. Okay, but it can take only a string format, then we need to change it to a string, to a string. Okay, add it to a string format. Now here we can write our logic, we can change our logic. Instead, like here we can change if our form data has an id. Okay, that means we are trying to update it. Okay, then we can show our status, and here also we can change form data dot id if it does update, and try to update it. Okay, and here we pass the value as form data dot id, like this. Okay, so in this way, okay, now let's see where we have the error. I think it has, okay, there. Okay, here we need to pass some kind of query, okay, which are expecting to my bad. So here we write, let's say we can get our id as well, like this, form data dot get id. Okay, so here first thing we'll need to convert this id into a string, sorry, string to number. So first thing we'll do, okay, instead of id, I think, yeah, let's say we create an date. Okay, so here we'll do id. So here first we'll need to do, as a type of, we first need to check if type of id is string. Okay, then what we'll do parse in it. Okay, and here we'll do id and we'll parse it like this. Otherwise, if it's still a number format, then we'll do like this. Okay, why it has a number is not assignable to type. Okay, I got it. Let's say const, and here we'll give, let's say, to do id, const to do id, like this. Okay, now it won't have any error. Now inside that update we pass and where object will create where id is equal to todo id, let's say, and then we'll pass our data. Okay, so data, it will have a title, okay, then description, and then status, like this. Let's save it and next, and then break it. Okay, and here we'll write one default. Okay, on default we'll throw a, let's say, a new error, let's say invalid x. Okay, I think it's done. And here we can change our message. Okay, so how we can do it? Status. I think it's accepting some kind of, like you can say string is not assignable type status. Okay, so we can change this to status as well. We can import it from Prisma client. Okay, no, I don't. So there should not be any error. Now here our message will change. If we have this ID, then we'll show, let's say, task updated. Otherwise it will show, let's say, task created. Let's say run. Now let's test it whether our update functionality is working. Now what I want to do, okay, so here I have created this add to do multiple times. So what I want to update it. I want to change this status to progress. Now if I click on update to do, I can see its status has been changed to add to do. Okay, similarly, if I want to change this for to do status to completed, and if I click on this create ID is missing. I got an error. ID is missing. Why ID is missing? Let's say for to do. I click on this fifth to do. Okay, no, it's not working. Okay, now I think fifth to do. At a time, if I click on this completed, it's getting failed. ID is missing. Right. So let's say on this update to do.id, I am updating it. So it should be, once I click on this update to do, you'll get a to do ID, to do.find. Now we can do this to do.id, because whatever to do I will find it here, it will have an ID now. Right, undefined. To do ID can convert into a number and set so far go to true. Okay, once I clear it, then ID should be empty. Should clear the ID as well, status as well, and everything. And handle change. I think we are destructing the form data and then we are updating the value. Then it should work. It's a for to do completed. Yeah, ID is missing. Why it's not able to get the ID? Let's say here, if we are getting the ID of console.log to do id, to do id, to press it, second to do completed, update. Now let's go to a terminal. Okay, to do id, I am getting unknown value. Why I am getting unknown value? Let's say here this console dot, let's say console dot log id and id here. Okay, now let's try again. Second to do completed, update. So now let's see what id I'm getting here. id I'm getting 2, but it's not able to convert it. Why it's not? I think okay, pass it to 10. I think here it should be 10. I bet 2 will not work. I think. Okay, let's see. Refresh it. Second to do completed, updated. Now it's updated. Okay. I think 2 is not working because at the time it tried to convert into a binary string, and that's why it's not working. Now here you can say I'm getting to do id and everything is correctly. You can remove this console.log, we can remove this to do id console here as well. Now let's save it. Now let's change this third to do. Okay, now I will change this status to in progress here, and also title my third to do. Okay, like this. If I click on this update to do, you can see it's getting updated. Okay, so now I think update functionality is also done. We only need to add the delete functionality. Okay, we only left with that. Okay, I think apart from that everything is done. Okay, if I want to change to complete it, we can do it. Okay, it's working. Now let's implement the delete functionality as well. Okay, so let's do it. It's pretty simple. We don't need to do anything different there. Okay, here you can say if we have this as a form id and everything. Okay, so after this button, I think we can use a delete button. What do you say? Can we use it? I think we can use it. So here before this submit button, we'll have a button. Okay, we have delete. Okay, just like this. Let's save it. Exam click submit. Okay, now let's see how it will look. If I click on 4, I can say we have to cancel and delete everything. But here, what I want, okay, here only I want this cancel button to replace with that. Like if we have this form open, then at that time we won't see this let's say create to do. If we see this, we can see this cancel button there. Okay, that thing we need to implement. Okay, so what we'll do, we can copy this button here. Okay, let's go to the top. Okay, okay, what I will do, let's try to do this. Cut it here. If let if show form, okay, if it's true, okay, then I will show let's say cancel button there. But if it is a let's say true, sorry, if it is false, then we'll show a create button. But if it is a let's say what I'm saying, guys, so but create to do, where is cancel here? we need to cut it from here. Okay, and we need to paste it here. That's it. I think now it will work. Okay, okay, now it's like showing in a full page. So what I will do, I need to give this class name to this button. Now let's show it. If I try to update this 6 to do, now you can say here is a cancel button. Okay, and now delete and update. Now let's add the delete functionality as well. So that thing, I think it's pretty simple, and I think you can also guess it. Here we only need to write a case. Case will be a delete. If case is delete, then what we'll do? Again, we do this similar thing. Copy it, paste it here. Okay, and then we'll write update. Sorry, not update. Await. Okay, db.todo the delete. Okay, and here we need to write where id is equal to todo id, like this. Why it's spelling? Cannot really declare a block scope variable. Why? So it's declared here. And now it will work. Okay, so now it's done. Now here we'll write a break. Okay, here also class update. Okay, and also I think here we can write action is equal to let's say create, then task created. Otherwise, if action is equal to let's say update, then we write let's say task updated. Otherwise, we'll show let's say task deleted this message. Okay, we'll return this dynamic from our server. Okay, and I think now everything is done. We have added this delete button as well. Okay, and the only thing is remaining, we need to pass this on click to this two element as well. So here we'll pass the same thing we need to pass. Okay, so that our update and delete will work. Both one. Okay, now let's see. I think now everything is done. Our application is also I think completed. Now just test it one by one. So if I click on this, let's say first to do. Okay, I want to add like my first to do is in progress state like this, and I will change the state. If I click on update, you can see it's getting changed. Okay, now if I click again here, okay, now it will open it. Now if I want to change it to completed, okay, now you can say change it to completed. Okay, now if I want to delete it, then click on this delete. Okay, bye bye. Here I think there is a error. Okay, we can fix it. Here you can say let's say first update to do id, copy it, paste it. Here you can do let's say first delete to do id. Okay, here. Okay, so today complete the first id will pass. Okay, now let's save it. Now again if I want to delete it, you can say it got deleted. Okay, and next thing we need to add this cursor pointer to both of this. So here and here we want to add a class called cursor pointer. So like this, let's save it. Now here you can see it says the cursor pointer. Okay, now let's change this to 62. Like here you can say this to do is completed. Okay, now if I click on this update to do, I think it's not getting updated. Okay, I have not changed the status. Okay, now let's change the status here. Okay, once I change it, cancel it. Okay, one thing you can notice. So okay, if you can notice one thing, once when I try to, let's say, update it now, let's say update it, anything update it. Okay, and if I click on this update now, this time it's getting updated, but my form is not getting closed. I need to fix it as well. It should also get closed now. Why is not getting closed? Sorry guys, I will tell you because my action data is not getting changed. As I can say in this use effect of it's only monitoring this action field. If our action data is getting any basis, then at that time it will change this set so far to false. Okay, but it's not changing here. Okay, let's see how we can do it. So here I think I can use is submitting. If it is submitting and action data message I am getting here, we'll change it, and also we'll can monitor this is submitting also, and here we'll do set form data. So let's say ID is empty, string title and description is empty. Okay, like this. Let's save it. Okay, now let's say go to do here we can write updated second time. Okay, now if I click on this update again, it's not gonna change. Now let's say third time, if I click on update, now you can see it's getting closed and it's update also updated. Now we can create a to do and we can update it and delete it. Now you can see for the today I think our CRUD operation has been performed successfully. We can create a to do, we can update a to do, we can delete a to do. Everything we can do it. Okay, now you can see if I delete it, you can see got deleted. Okay, so I hope you like my project. Okay, today project, and you have learned something new, like how we can create a fully CRUD project with the help of Remix application. I hope you have learned it. Okay, I try to make it simple guys so that you can understand. Okay, you can keep separate these modules. Okay, but only thing I want to highlight here. Okay, once you visit a page, and if you want to call any kind of API there, then you can write a logic inside our loader. If you want to perform any kind of post, put and delete method, then you can write that logic inside our action function. Okay, like this. Okay, so that's it guys. That's it for this today live stream. I hope you like this. If you like it, please make sure to like this live stream. And also यदि आपने मेरे लाइव स्ट्रीम को अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया, नॉट लाइव स्ट्रीम मेरे चैनल को, so please make sure to subscribe it also. Okay, so thank you for the today. Okay, we'll meet you in the next live stream video. Until then, bye bye guys.
Good night. Have a good trip.